recording started.
Well, good evening. This is good news, I think. These are office hours. I'll try and do these, as needed, and I'll try and keep them like 5:30 Thursday to kind of counterbalance the 5:30 Tuesday session we kind of established. Again, don't feel like you, you know, need to, especially on the office hours side, need to come to them live because I'll put them out on YouTube. Um, and the lecture part, again, I know some of you have got commitments. That's how you ended up in distance learning. So, again, um, I'll continue to put those out there. But if you have questions beforehand, feel free to, send them to me. And then that way I can go ahead and talk about it during the office hours. And, it's kind of your own desire whether you are getting enough out of the material or, there's some value added on going through some of the problems. I told you on Tuesday night this was going to be office hours, and I'm completely flexible in terms of changing up the schedule a little bit. But I did feel like there's a question about marginal tax rates, and that concept is kind of confusing because people think, oh gosh, I'm in the whatever, a 33% tax rate. All my income, once I hit that realm, everything's going to be taken at 33%. Everything after that point is going to be taken. So anyway, if you look at the chart in the book, it's kind of confusing. Here's another chart that displays the data. This is for 2012. Remember with taxes, you're always looking at the data from the previous year. So when you go to pay taxes in April of 2014, well, you'll be governed by the 2013 rules because that's when the taxes apply. But anyway, this was the 2012 data. And so you can see, now first off, there's filing situations. I've got slides for all of them. But anyway, married, filing joint and surviving spouses. So again, this is, call it social engineering, call it what you want. But the government's got a role in trying to treat people fairly, or, you can also look at it as push them in a certain direction. And so they do give breaks for, having children, which is, obviously perpetuates society, and being married is not a bad thing for society either. So anyway, you'll see that there are some breaks that come along with that. But if you're in that situation, so married individuals filing joint returns and surviving spouses, so a widower, anyway, both genders. If taxable income 17.4, yeah, you're not exactly knocking it out of the park. So they're going to only tax you at 10%. From 17.4 to 70,000 and a little change, it's going to be at 15% of the excess above 17.4. So that first 17.4 is only going to be at 10%, and then everything up to 70 is going to be at 15, and then 70 to 142, they're taking a bigger bite up to 25%. And then over 142 to 217, and again, this is AGI, adjusted gross income. So, when you're looking at, well, if you're looking at your check, you've already had a bunch of deductions taken out, but they're going to look at your gross income. That's the big number, and then they're going to you're going to make some deductions off of that, and then you're going to get down to your adjusted gross income, and that's what you're going to enter the tax tables with. So, if you're in that, doing pretty well, 142 to 217, they're taking 28%, and then 217, and you can read the rest. It just goes up and up, and then 35% is the highest marginal tax rate. So if you're making $1 million, well, everything from 388, 350 to $1 million, they're going to take a little over a third. So, like it or not, that's what it is. Head of household, that's where you can claim in certain cases. Like my daughter, for example, is going away to college, so that may affect it. It changes once child hits 18. You got to read the specifics on that. But if you can claim head of household, that's advantageous. And again, the tax rate are as follows. You can see again over the 3,000. Well, you're doing pretty well then. I don't think that applies to too many of us, unfortunately. But anyway, down in the normal realm, they'll say 4750 to 47,350 up to 122,300, 25%. And anyway, those other numbers, this number here, that's 648, 6,482 and 50 cents. That's the calculated tax for this for what you've already paid, and then it's going to be 25% above that. Again, this stuff can get confusing. You don't look at these tax tables typically if you're taking my suggestion and using some sort of software. Again, it's garbage in, garbage out. You got to know, if it's grossly inaccurate, or you think your numbers are not right. Yeah, double check or get a second source, second opinion. So not a problem. That can be accountant, that can be you hand jamming it, all that. We actually had a person, Melissa, welcome. Anyway, I'm just talking to myself here. Married individuals filing returns separately. Again, it's a different scheme, and you can see that the numbers are accordingly, and that's about that. So questions on that part. I think the other details we covered pretty well. It was mainly tax planning, and again, I'm not going to repeat myself, but you do have some control, but you have to get busy during the tax year before, obviously, the end of the year, December 31st. IRAs and certain things like that, yeah, you can kind of back those in, but in terms of making radical changes to withholdings and all that, that's fine. Class is not in session. No, this was just office hours, and I was just going over some stuff with regarding the actual marginal tax rates that I didn't quite explain as well as I wanted to on Tuesday. Did you have a question? All right. Anyway, this is your time. I mean, don't feel like you need to be here. We're a whopping 7 minutes into the session, but hey, if things are going well, that's fine. Obviously, as we get closer to the midterm, I'm not fooling myself. There may be more interest, but I'll consider people pretty happy, and no major questions. If I do see major questions, I'll try and address it in the following office hours. Other than that, I think we're about done, huh? Cool. All right. Well, I will talk to you all probably next Tuesday. I'll get the slides out this weekend, and we'll get that all taken care of. If you notice, I kind of reformatted the page to try and make it easier, embedded the YouTube videos, and also if you go to the Collaborate page, you'll notice that if you find yourself in a situation where you want to download those things as MP4s, you can do that. You can do that from that page, or you can watch direct from the embedded videos in the materials section, and that'll work. Sounds good. Talk to you then.